Another Tier 10 medium platoon on Ruinberg. This time we are all running T62As and it is an encounter match rather than standard battle. So if you've seen any of my other videos of what we do on Ruinberg encounter from this spawn, you'll probably know what's coming. We know that we can get into position at J1 faster than the enemy team. We know we can cross middle without being hit, unless they rush a medium or light tank in there and get lucky. And we can already see that our team is covering the field sufficiently, sending actually probably too many tanks out there. So we want to work through into the enemy spawn quite quickly. Hardest and Nev get a head start on me. We've lost one scout already, but he spotted a large number of the enemy team, about half their team out in the field. So that's half the team we won't really have to deal with. T-54 gets in there, immediately takes a hit and backs off. We all get into position without being shot at, or at least without being hit. So T-54 is the first to die. And there he goes. The M103 appears to be AFK, but he's worth taking out just in case, and also because who's going to say no to free damage? It's taking the enemy team a while to respond. If you look at the minimap, you'll see they're only just starting to turn around and head this way. And now our team is pushing in as well. Thankfully they were looking at their maps, and so the enemy has to choose whether they want to shoot at us or they want to shoot at the rest of the team coming down Crescent Road. No matter what they do, they'll end up exposing their sides and rear to at least one group of tanks. So the IS-3 vaults over a pile of rubble to try and get the kill on hardest, but fails. He gets one shot in before being driven back. The E-100 is busy engaging T-54 and E-100 in the corner, and so he's just basically feeding us damage as we sit here putting shells into the side of his tank. The IS-4 is also engaging those same two tanks, and so we can quite happily shoot at his thin rear armor instead of having to deal with his really annoying frontal and side armor. You can see we just fire on the move as we drive past him. And hardest finishes him off. Next is the E50. I know there's a 704 potentially covering him, but I can afford to take hits at the moment. I go to take a snapshot of the Arty, but hardest gets it first, and now it's time to work over this 704, while the E50M and 4202 get fucked up in the field. So I could have shot him in the track as I came around the corner, but instead I figured I'd be able to out-traverse him anyway, so I just auto-locked him, and then started carouseling. Here I knew I was going to drive in front of his gun, but because I'm still full health, I figured I could just take the hit. There's no point trying to play ring around the rosy with the building, because it would have just wasted time. Unless he'd ammo rack me there, he wouldn't have killed me anyway. So that's Ruinberg finished in 4 minutes, 5.2k damage, or just shy of 5.2k damage for me. Can't recall how much hardest and Nevzin got, but it'll be in the post games anyway, so you can check there. As you can see, we're 1 kill away from a Brothers in Arms, which hardest was going for. But unfortunately the E50M decided to end his own existence by ramming our GWE, depriving us of a Brothers in Arms award. And Waffenträger Panzer IV quits out of the battle right before the end, cheating himself with a bunch of experience and credits. Don't do that, by the way. So overall, good fast game, and That's why we still do the one-line rush in medium tanks. And unless your team collapses in the field or in the other parts of town, it very, very rarely fails. It just exploits the fact that puppies don't have map awareness. They can't handle fighting two flanks at once, and they rely on a set meta which they perceive to be locked in stone almost. They don't understand that the way the game is played can evolve or change over time. So if you do something that breaks their idea of how a map is played, say being in their spawn 30 seconds into the match, they'll completely lose their shit. You used to see this when the Chaffee was first introduced. If you put together a platoon of 3 Chaffies and just waited, say, 2 minutes and drove them straight into the enemy base, and then drove around killing their arty, coming up behind their TDs, killing them, picking out lone heavy tanks, they didn't know how to deal with it. The whole team would just melt. They'd lose all ability to focus fire, they'd stop paying attention to their maps. It's the same kind of thing, and it's the same thing that happened when the T-54 was first introduced to the game as well. It's still a very effective tactic, you've just got to figure out how to do it effectively.